Good morning, Sylvia here, nutrition and fasting coach. So, how do you like my office today? I'm out on the water. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it kind of feels like a crime to talk because the peace and quiet is so wonderful. But I'm going to do a quick live here because this is, I feel like something very important, and I do have some exciting stuff coming out. So I wanted to just give you guys a little hint about that. So, yeah, the number one reason for weight gain or overall health issues, chronic disease, and it all, no, it's not the fats you eat, it's not cholesterol, it's insulin. So how insulin sensitive you are, it's what matters, and it all comes down to how efficient your body is at creating and using energy. But how do you know this? So the easiest way to track this is by tracking your glucose. Since right now there's no easy way to track insulin or measure insulin. Those glucose meters, there's the finger prick ones. You have now the continuous glucose monitors for really great because they measure in real time how food affects your insulin levels or your glucose levels. So, but what is it that really affects your insulin? It is mainly carbohydrates, and sugars and refined carbohydrates are the biggest ones. Fiber will not affect your glucose much at all. Protein to some degree will affect your glucose levels because protein can be easily converted to glucose if your body needs it. So as humans, we were never created to consume large amount of carbohydrates at a time and several times a day. So the body can't process all the carbohydrates that we eat. It's most people now in the modern diet, they eat a very high carb diet. And so if you look at, for example, an endurance athlete, if you're running for an hour, you can process between 60 and 90 grams of carbohydrates in that hour. The higher intensity, the more you can process. But think about that. So 60 grams of carbohydrates. So if you have one of those iced pumpkin latte things from Starbucks that has 65 grams of carbohydrates, 65 grams of sugar, that's gonna be sugar that, since I'm imagining that you're not running while you're drinking this latte, and that's gonna just spike your glucose. Whatever we don't use, if we're sitting still eating or drinking sugary, refined carbohydrate rich foods or drinks, it's all gonna get stored. So whatever you don't use, some of it's going to get stored as glycogen in your liver for easy access if you run out of glucose in your bloodstream. The rest is going to be stored as fat. So as soon as you spike your glucose, you spike your insulin, you're going to turn off fat burning and you're going to turn on fat storing. So this is why it's so important to know your insulin levels, your glucose levels, and keep that under control, because that's the biggest factor when it comes to your overall health. So I didn't mention I have something exciting coming up. It's in the works, so I'm not going to spill all the details yet. But if you want in, please come join my free group. The link is right on my profile, and we're going to have a lot of stuff going on in there. So keep checking in with me. But of course, to be able to help your insulin levels to become insulin sensitive, it's very simple things you can do. Number one is to eat whole foods. Avoid the overly processed, high sugar, refined carbohydrate foods they will spike your glucose and your insulin. And of course, fasting. Fasting is the absolute quickest way to manage your insulin levels. One of my clients, she reversed her insulin, pre-diabetes in less than a month when starting fasting. So, I just heard something in the woods. Anybody's curious? I'm getting a little close to land here. I'm going to have to start paddling a little bit. But I just wanted to bring that to you guys.